a chance to make a video about it. Yeah, I just want to talk about some of the games that I tried out briefly over the weekend. Would have liked to make some videos with them, but it just wasn't conducive for recording, unfortunately. But yeah, just want to talk about some of them. And if you have tried out any of these demos, and either liked or found out you didn't like any of them, let me know in the comments. So I guess we can come back and just kind of take a brief look at some of them, but there is just hundreds and hundreds of games. I like the art style of that one. Maybe we'll come back and check that one out. But I'll just go through some of them that I tried. Kinda Seeds of Civilization. So it's a city builder. I think the art style is pretty cool. Lots of unique ideas and stuff here. I only played this for a little bit. I think it's still kind of rough, is the impression I got out of it in its current state. But just looking at some of this stuff you can do is pretty awesome. I'm not sure if a lot of this was in the demo or not. Only played it for about like an hour or so. I don't know, just selecting units seemed a little janky where you clicked and dragged. But it seems like it has some interesting ideas. So, it's one I might, I definitely didn't get far enough to see ships and stuff like this, just enough to set up a little civilization and build some storage and some huts and some farms and stuff and fight off raids and tame some wildlife. So, it's admittedly in early development, kind of still. It is coming out later this year. So, I'll keep an eye on it. I think I might have put it on my wish list, but I'll have to see how it turns out on launch, because there's definitely a lot of cool building that I didn't see in the demo. So I'll try it again. Also a little bit underwhelmed from the demo itself, but it seems like there's a lot cooler things when you get further. So I'll have to revisit that one. Here's War Tales. I hadn't heard about this at all before the Steam Next Fest, but it's like an open world, it's an open world RPG, but then it goes into these tactical turn-based combat, and it has these cool little pre-rendered environments where you can interact with people, pick up quests from this person, recruit new people, buy stuff, click on things and loot and steal. So that's kind of cool. They had like a whole zone that you could explore, and you have different classes and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Kind of like I don't know, maybe like Battle Brothers style open world. Pretty cool art style. I like the class system and the combat and everything. So I had a blast playing this for like an hour until I beat the whole story that it had. Yeah, I'll have to keep my eye on this. I think I wish listed it as well. So I was very impressed with that. That's right up my alley with the type of games that I like playing. Next one is Warhammer 40k Battle Sector. And there's a lot of tactical warmer 40k games that come out, like turn-based tactical ones, and a lot of them are, I don't know, not that great, don't really appeal to me, even though I like that kind of game. Just I think the quality is kind of hit and miss. I appreciate that Games Workshop takes a chance on so many different kinds of games and lots of indie developers, but it ends up being you get, hit or miss quality. You get the whole spectrum. You get some that are kind of you get some pretty decent ones, and then you get some really awesome ones, like, I don't know, Mechanicus, Dawn of War, Space Marine. On the fantasy side, you get the Warhammer, Total War games and whatnot. I'm leaving some out, but just as an example. Anyway, about this, played this. It gives you several, some tutorials and then several story missions. And I think it's a lot better than I was kind of expecting. And I'm probably going to pick this up when it comes out pretty soon, actually, right? That's only several weeks out. Yeah, it's like 3 weeks or so, right? So, definitely one to keep your eye on. I think the combat was really fun. It wasn't like, I don't know, a boring turn-based combat. It was, despite having squads, I think it kind of played out kind of like XCOM, I guess, with like Overwatch and just that layer of kind of like combat style, I guess. A little bit more squad based and maybe tactical than that, but it just reminded me with the Overwatch and just how fun and engaging the combat is. I think later on you might upgrade squads and stuff, but even in the demo there was a pretty good diversity of units. I'm not sure if the enemy for the whole thing is only the Tyranid, but it might be. Not entirely sure. It seems like it might be. But it looks pretty cool. The voice acting already was pretty decent and in place. And they definitely got some fun mechanics. So, I'm gonna probably check that out when it comes out. Here is another one. I think I had it on my wish list. I really use my wish list more as just things I want to keep an eye on, more than things that I, want to immediately buy or whatnot. But it's, essentially like Fire Emblems, or I don't know why I made that plural, Fire Emblem, with some better graphics. This one was in pretty early access as well. They let you play. I only played one story mission. I'm not sure. I think they might have given you another one afterwards. But a pretty interesting siege mission. They didn't have any voice acting in place, so it's just kind of text for now. I'm just gonna see how this one turns out. It seems like they could do some cool things with it too, especially if they let you, I don't know, customize some loadouts and different abilities and stuff. But it seems pretty interesting. Yeah, it looks like you can just change their gear and stuff and have it reflected on your character in the battles and stuff, which is pretty cool. Oh look, it even has like, third-person RPG where you're just running around. Hopefully it's a little bit more than just a camp that you're exploring, but who knows. It seems cool, so I'll keep an eye on that, because I like that Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics, all those kind of tactical RPGs like that. lot of siege battles, ramming the gates and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I think they have a pretty interesting base. You know, the demo, admittedly, is very early. It was a little underwhelming, but you know, you gotta take it at what it is. So I'll keep an eye on it during its development. Coming out later this year, though. So I don't know. Might still have quite a bit of work to go on that one. Sacred Fire, I just dabbled in for a little bit. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure game, really, at its core. Where it gives you the probability, and I'd never heard of this one before. It's kind of set in, I guess you're some kind of like Celtic tribes person, or eventually leader, I guess, in right north of Hadrian's Wall, it sounded like. Yeah, you kind of like grow your character, and as you do things, different ideas develop, and different skills you grow in, and different things trigger. I'm not sure how I feel about the art style. It's like somewhere between good and cool, and I don't know, uncanny valley and weird for me. But I played a little bit of it. I do like choose your own adventure type games a lot as well, and I think they took an interesting kind of approach with it, where, as it says, it's like psychological. So a lot of your kind of traits and decisions and stuff and interactions are based off of kind of like personality types and I don't know, just kind of like people's reactions to things. So it's kind of interesting. So I don't know. I didn't go into this even knowing about it or expecting anything, but it seemed pretty cool. So no, I'll see how that turns out on release later this year as well. And these next two are ones that I heard about but actually haven't gotten around to playing. This one is Chernobyl Liquidators Simulator, which I just read an article about. And it's like at Chernobyl, and I think you play one of those like under-equipped like first responders to it. You have to kind of like run in and try to avert some disaster or something. I think that's what the article made it sound like. You conscripted to deal with the consequences of the 1986 Chernobyl nuclear disaster, but the graphics look pretty intense, and the gameplay seemed pretty frantic and running through, you know, the damaged buildings and putting out fires and things. So it seems kind of sad and interesting. Interesting game. I haven't played it, but I don't know, maybe if there's time tomorrow. But it seemed like an interesting concept. The next one I just heard about today is Death Trash, which is a weird name, but the premise and the setting sounded kind of unique when I was reading it. It was like, I don't know, humans live like underground and have robots that take care of them and protect them, but part of protecting them is just weeding out people with diseases or that are dangerous and stuff, and just kicking them out to the surface to, I don't know, try and survive on their own. So there's lots of weird things, some pretty cool looking pixel art, and some interesting looking combat. But I would like to try this out. I haven't played it yet. But I like this kind of like, the combat looks cool. or something for some reason. So I'm about to check that one out. That's pretty close to release too, actually, August 5th. In the article I said, I think it just gives you like the first hour and a half of like the beginning of the game to try out, so that seems pretty cool. I'll have to check that one out. Let's see if there's yeah, there was like live streams and stuff too. I didn't end up watching any of them, but I like that they're giving a bunch of smaller developers and stuff a chance to show off their games and be highlighted. I really like that. At some point I'd like to, I dabble in game development here and there, but at one point I would like to have a game on Steam. I think that would be super cool. Guess that's like a bucket list type thing. But hopefully, I don't know, sooner rather than later. Bless Unleashed. I haven't played, I don't really play MMOs. That's a cool art style. Tome or Toem. On metal. Look like, I don't know. Metal Gear Solid or something, didn't it? Guess it might be a play on that with unmetal. There is no light or atmospheric. Souls-like. Looks interesting. Interesting. A lot of games that I've never heard of before. A lot of great games that come out that you don't hear of. It's fierce competition for, publicity and whatnot. Let's see what this is. I want to see some gameplay. Don't know that we're gonna get it. A choice-driven sci-fi narrative strategy game. I mean, I don't know what the gameplay is like, but I kind of like the art style. Alright, what are we seeing here? And then we just have some narration stuff, and then what? I'm confused on how it plays. Things just seem to kind of be popping up. Sleeper Fleet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm a little interested. I guess I could try the demo. Figure out for myself. The Fermi Paradox. Interesting, interesting. Synthetic. I like their spelling of that word. The Dread Templar. A lot of the games that I talked about are popping up on this, this just list of, I guess, the top games here, maybe. So that's good. Aspire of Sorcery. Open World Tactical Roguelite. Don't hear Tactical Open World and Roguelite in the same sentence often, but that's cool. please let me know if you saw anything that you tried out that either liked or didn't like or were indifferent on. But yeah, leave a comment. I said leave a like. You don't have to leave a like just for that reason, but